Welcome into Section 65, the official SEC football podcast for Garage Guys Fantasy Sports. I'm your host, Clay Keaton, alongside my co-host and partner, Tanner Colson. Tanner, how we doing tonight?
Not too bad, Clay. Not too bad.
Going into Week 8 of SEC football, a little side of COVID this weekend. Some cancellations, some news that we'll get into. Sam Pittman whipped Jeremy Pruitt's ass. Now he's kicking it on the couch with COVID. So, Tanner, Week 8 with a side of COVID.
Forecast
ready to roll.
Heavy COVID.
Yeah, let's run it.
Let's ride. All right, guys, just to get us into a little bit of news around the sport of college football in general. We'll keep it mostly SEC. Quick shout out. Kentucky offensive line coach and certified badass John Schlarman unfortunately passed away this week after a 2-year fight with cancer. Obviously condolences to all the Kentucky football's team and staff. The guy's a certified badass. That's all I can say. He never missed a game, told his guys to treat him like normal, and they did. So, good on them and good on him for probably going out the way he would have wanted.
Yeah, a lot of respect. I mean, I give Kentucky a hard time, but football is about family, and that's what it is. So definitely thoughts and prayers to the players and staff and families in Lexington.
Yeah, thinking about Big Blue Nation today. And some lighter news, not much lighter. The SEC has been hit by another wave of postponements, ruining yet another fantastic slate of Saturday football. Georgia, Missouri, Texas A&M versus Tennessee, Auburn at Mississippi State, and Alabama, LSU are all out this week. So that's probably 3 of the 4 best games happening this weekend. COVID is winning this week as of right now. Not really looking good. Wear your masks if you're in college towns. We all want to see the season get ended on time.
Yeah, wear your masks. I mean, I think we kind of knew that this would happen. I think it's a good sign that the SEC isn't saying that they're canceling yet. They're just saying that they're postponing. And if you really get on there and do the research and talk to people who know, I mean, they're not going to cancel this season. They're going to finish it out no matter how long it takes, in my opinion. I don't really know what's going to happen. And if we do have to keep postponing, then maybe we should just go ahead and call it. But, I don't think, what is it? This is a lot of the team's first postponement of the year. So, we've got all the way to November 12th.
Well, if anything, too, it's kind of a testament that the SEC started on time, whereas, the Big Ten is dealing with all their COVID stuff right now, and it's putting everything on hold, and they don't even know how they're going to finish things out with what's going on at Wisconsin and everything. So, the SEC, because they started on time, kind of had some time built in that if they need to accommodate any schedule changes, they got kind of plenty of flexibility to do that. In other news, Clemson lost to Notre Dame in an absolute slugfest the other night. Trevor Lawrence was obviously out with COVID. But that guy, DJ Uiagalelei, however you pronounce it, I mean, how do you go from Deshaun Watson to Trevor Lawrence to this DJ Uiagalelei guy?
I was like in and out of sleep from that for that entire game. But, I don't know. I woke up I fell asleep when Clemson was down, woke up, saw they were still down, put like $20 on them on the money line or whatever for them to come back. And then woke up after it was over. So, didn't get to watch much. But glad to see Clemson lose. And good for Notre Dame, especially after what Clemson did to them a couple years ago in the playoff. And did they play them last year too?
Not that I know of. I don't think they did, no. I love – anytime Clemson loses, man, I win. I had a great time watching those last couple of drives. It was absolute insanity. And unfortunately, Clemson looks like they got another first-round quarterback that's right behind Trevor Lawrence, going to be just fine taking over the reins for him next season. But because Clemson lost, Alabama moved up, probably where they should have been all season. They're the number 1 team in the country. I think that's their 15th season in a row being ranked number 1 at one point, which is the record. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, how unbelievable is it that we're talking about Bama's offense is so good that literally all the experts, all the college football analysis guys, all the analysts, they literally are talking about how good Bama's offense is, And literally all they say is, yeah, you can have a great fucking defense, and it doesn't matter because they are going to out-offense you.
Yeah, they'll just score down your throat. There's no stopping them. I think they're going to keep running up scores all season. I don't know if I see anyone in the SEC stopping them.
No.
It should be an interesting game between them and Florida, I guess. I mean, if you want to talk about a team that could maybe put up some points.
Yeah, Florida's an exciting team to watch. I'm excited to watch Felipe go home to the Swamp this weekend.
Yeah, that should be a good one. I'm glad that one's still going on. In some other news, some abnormal teams right now are ranked, and they're actually looking like they're potentially in college football playoff contention. BYU's moved all the way up to 8. They're 8-0. Coastal Carolina is still undefeated, ranked 15th in the country, which is probably the biggest surprise of the season. Liberty's ranked number 22 after what they did to Virginia Tech.
Freezing over here.
And Cincinnati is ranked number 7. If I'm BYU and I'm Cincinnati, I'm doing everything I can to get that game on the schedule somehow. If they can find a way to do that, they might have a playoff chance. But without that, they're just fighting for New Year's Six bowls. In the Big
Bearcats
Ten,
and Cougars.
In the Big Ten, Northwestern is leading the West, just like we all expected them to. 3-0. Ohio State is doing what Ohio State does, taking care of business. Michigan and Penn State.
Penn State. What a bunch of bullshit.
What is going on with Penn State? They just had Journey Brown, I want to say his name is, their running back is out he had to medically retire, actually. He's got some sort of a condition they caught in COVID testing. So he's never playing football again. He's going to have to medically retire. Yeah, I don't know what to think about the Big Ten other than it looks like Ohio State's conference, which we all kind of knew, but it's definitely disappointing. Michigan and Penn State stink. I'm starting a new trend. I want Harbaugh to South Carolina. I don't know if it could possibly happen, but give me Harbaugh. Talia Tagovailoa is balling out at Maryland. They are 2-1 right now after.
Yeah, I was going to take that Maryland plus, I think, whatever it was against Ohio State this weekend. Unfortunately, it's canceled. But, yeah, no, I think you're right. Ohio State's got an easy path. And you know what? I'm fine with it. I mean, realistically, yeah, I wanted Penn State to be good, and I think it's better when Michigan and Ohio State's good. And Wisconsin's not bad. But Michigan State sucks too. Indiana's undefeated, right?
Yeah, Indiana. They just beat Michigan for the first time since '87. So if you want to feel a little better about Tennessee's Kentucky streak ending, that's probably their worst loss in years. Indiana hasn't happened in.
I bet on that. I bet on the Hoosiers.
Really? That's a good beat. Mississippi State is adding another midseason opt-out. Marcus Murphy is out after Kylan Hill opted out last week. Things are still an absolute mess down in cowbell territory. And the Ivy League canceled winter sports officially, which good for them. Preserve those brains, make sure they can go on to be doctors and everything. Don't need any COVID floating around. College basketball is going to be back 11/25. What is that?
The Tennessee basketball Volunteers expect a big year out of them. Preseason AP poll number 12. Fulke and Pons coming back. Santiago Vescovi expect a big year out of Josiah James. He's going to really turn that corner. Freshman guards Jaden Springer and Keon Johnson. Tennessee picked to win the SEC by the media today, actually. So with that, I don't know if you can tell by my little 30-second spiel here, but I'm a little bit excited and a little bit ready for some hoops.
You're ready to turn the page to winter sports. I am too. I'm feeling the same way. I think Frank Martin's team is going to be good this year, probably be the best team we've had since our little Final Four run.
A lot of respect for Frank Martin in South Carolina over there.
Yeah, I think they'll be feisty as always. Hopefully, all you got to do with Frank Martin is you just got to get to the big dance. You just got to make it, and he'll take care of the rest. In the preseason rankings, we've got Kentucky's number 10 and Tennessee's number 12. I'm sure we'll have some teams move in and out. On that note, though, Clay, would you like to hop into a couple little recaps from Week 7?
I think, and Tennessee's only having 4,000 fans in the arena this year. I want to make sure, because realistically, if you look at Ken Palm and you look at some of these things, and you know what I know about the Tennessee basketball team, and you know that Fulke's coming back, Pons is coming back, Josiah is coming back. We've got Vescovi, we've got a new guy, Anasicki, a transfer. I want to make sure that we get Jeremy Pruitt in Thompson Bowling as much as we can, so we can get him. We need to pass good vibes on him. We need him in a winner's environment, a winner's arena. We need him around a winning culture. We need him around a coach who not only gets raises, but he backs his raises up with his recruiting classes, and he gets offers from what are the Kentuckys, the North Carolinas, the what are they called? I'm drawing the Blue Bloods.
Oh,
Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes is UCLA is calling Rick Barnes, wanting him to be their coach. So we need to get Jeremy Pruitt in Thompson Bowling Arena as much as we can. Jeremy Pruitt has fallen completely off. It's absolutely pathetic. He's shown zero improvement. I think if you look at Tennessee coaches since Fulmer was fired progressively, they've gotten progressively worse. If you think about the overall status of the coaches and the things that they've done, they've gotten progressively worse, starting with Kiffin, who is obviously the best since Fulmer, and then Derek Dooley, and then we took a step down to Butch Jones, and now we've taken an even farther step down to the basement to pull this redneck out of the boxes, out of the shadows in the basement, and he doesn't have it. I don't think we're going to fire him. We shouldn't fire him. We can't afford to fire him. If we lose to Vandy, he's gone.
Gotta be.
But I think it's embarrassing. I think he's lost two of the biggest, worst losses in school history. I think the Arkansas loss was pathetic. You're up 13-0. You made no adjustments. Arkansas literally went in the locker room, chopped you up and spit you out, and dominated you the entire second half. So Jeremy Pruitt, that's what I have to say about you. Get your ass in Thompson Bowling Arena and get around a winning environment, because Tennessee basketball volunteers and Rick Barnes are going to do a lot of fucking winning this winter, boys. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
Jeremy Pruitt.
If we need to get Jeremy Pruitt in a winning environment after working with Nick Saban for the last couple of years, I think that there might just be nothing we can do for the guy. But the least we could do is definitely get him some good vibes around him, get him enjoying some games in Thompson Bowling Arena, one of the best scenes in college basketball.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, and Clay obviously is talking about the pretty unfortunate performance by Tennessee against Arkansas. They lost 13-24. Arkansas is 6-0 against the spread, so if there's anything to hang your hat on, there's that. But, I mean, I think you got to be thinking about Pruitt and his job security. You know, I'm sure, like you said, they can't afford to probably get rid of him this year, but if they lose to Vanderbilt or if they have another disastrous loss this season, I don't see a way they go forward with him.
Oh my God!
And I promised I would never.
My seat is hot. My seat burnt me. My seat just burnt my ass. Sorry.
Is that your best Jeremy Pruitt impression?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see a way he survives it. And I promised I would never bring it up on the pod, but I think I'm going to finally do it just out of respect for you. But that clip of him from the high school football show that he was on, where he does not know what asparagus is an absolute all-timer.
You two guys have been good for each other.
What is that?
Asparagus. You don't like asparagus?
I ain't never heard of it. Y'all try, Jerry.
And he is living up to that reputation right now out on the field. Not his best day, not his best season, if there is a best season for him. But, yeah, I knew right when I saw that in Tennessee they legalized gambling and they did that big promotion where if you bet like $5 on Tennessee, you'd win like $100. That was when I knew. I don't even take even odds in general when I bet. I don't even trust those, let alone $5 to win $120. They are setting you up to fail. They want your free money. Anyways, moving on, we got another game that is close to our hosts. My South Carolina Gamecocks are terrible. They're bottoming out, which, you know, I was sick of kind of being on the fence for the last couple of years with Muschamp, but I think this A&M loss is the final nail in the coffin. We were smart enough. We were ahead of the curve. We bet money on the game on A&M. They just absolutely shit pumped them. 48-3. Colin Hill went 8 for 21, 66 yards, 2 picks. I don't know what he's doing out on the field anymore. The guy's like 24 years old, and we've got 3 straight recruits that were top 10 quarterbacks in their class, and we're just rolling out this Colin Hill guy who's got more torn ACLs than SEC wins. And I just, I don't know what they're doing, but if it'll get Muschamp finally out of there and we can keep that momentum going and, hopefully maybe get some Jim Harbaugh action going, But, Kellen Mond lit it up again, 16 for 26, 224 yards, 4 touchdowns. The running back Spiller went 18 carries, 131 yards at 7.3 per carry. And Jimbo's finally living up to his expectations at A&M. I've been waiting for them to finally look like a real team, and it's looking like they're finally going to start doing it. So good for A&M. South Carolina, we'll get them next year or the year after that, or maybe we'll just never beat them. Maybe that's just going to be our bugaboo forever. But yeah, I mean, if Muschamp's finally on the way out, I'm ready for it. I've given him every chance I could, but I think it's time. And another game we had was Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Vandy 17, Mississippi State 24. The two obvious worst teams in the conference, I would probably venture to say. Vanderbilt had an easy cover of the 19-point spread. What's going on with Mike Leach? We've been asking all season. Maybe he's just got to get his guys in. Maybe that's what it is. He had that whole press conference talking about getting rid of people or whatever else, but I'm out on him. I'm glad I sold my stock a couple weeks back. This was the irrelevant bowl. This was just a sad showing of football. Mississippi State, if they wanted any respect, they had to win by 14 plus, and they kind of squeaked one out over Vanderbilt.
Congrats to Vandy for covering the spread. Move on.
Yep, easiest bet of the week. Florida 44. Speaking of good bets, Georgia 28.
How about that?
Clay with the pick of the week, I'd say. Kyle Trask is a Heisman contender all of a sudden. Not all of a sudden. He's been kind of building up to it all year, but he had 4 touchdowns again, 1 pick, 475 yards. The guy he's electric. He's the first quarterback to ever have 4 touchdowns in every game of his first 5 starts. And fun fact that I didn't realize, Kyle Trask hadn't started a football game in 7 years when he got the job at Florida. De'Aaron King out of Miami, the quarterback, he was his starter in high school. So he started his freshman year. De'Aaron King took over. Somehow he went to Florida, and, good for Kyle Trask. I can't help but like the guy. And Georgia's quarterbacks are just awful, man. Stetson Bennett, I know, got hurt, but 5 of 16, 78 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And his backup was even worse, 4 out of 13 for 34 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks. Where's JT Daniels?
I don't know. I guess he's just not 100% and can't play. I don't know. I'm glad to see the Gators won. Good bet. Easy bet, really. They really just kind of blew him out of the water offensively. Slow start. It was 14-0. A little worried. But nice to. I was cheering for the Gators. Watched it with one of my buddies, a big Gator fan, my buddy Justin, and he kept high-fiving me. But as soon as that clock hit 0, the high fives ended, and the cheering was over. But good for me and good for the rest of the people who took the Gators.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, this game confirmed that Georgia is my least favorite team, probably in football, behind maybe Clemson, because I don't like the Lizards, Florida. But I was cheering for Florida pretty much from the get-go. I wanted them to win the damn football game.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm Georgia. I used to not really. Mark Richt. I like Mark Richt. Georgia is just. I just hate Georgia. They're really starting to get up there on my hate scale.
Did you see that huge hit that happened to Kyle Pitts?
That was ugly.
There was like a hospital pass from Kyle Trask, and he got lit up by this DB. And I think my favorite part about it is on Twitter, everyone gets mad about everything. People were angry that the guy got ejected for, the game and half of next game, but the guy's going to be in concussion protocol the whole time. He got the worst of it by far. He got absolutely leveled out there, and he was the one that was hitting. Yeah, good for Florida. Good win. Screw Georgia. Sorry, Kirby. Glad to see it finally happen. I am riding with Florida representing the East in the SEC this year.
I'm good with it. Whatever.
Lesser of two evils, right?
Yeah.
Let's move into let's look ahead a little bit. Let's peek at this little schedule we've got, or what's left of it, I should say.
Yeah, so what do we got? We got the Egg Bowl, right? We've got Arkansas and Florida.
Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Vandy, Kentucky. The spreads are Arkansas plus 17, South Carolina plus 11, Vandy plus 17.5. So this is kind of a week where that separates the real bettors from the frauds. We got to bet all 3 games because we pick 3 every week. So let's see what we got. What are you taking this week?
All right, I'm gonna keep it rolling, and I'm gonna hope that Sam Pittman not being there affects Arkansas greatly. I think he's their morale leader. I think he's a great leader. So I'll go Gators minus 17.5. Sure, going to be a big offensive day. Felipe's not going to be able to get it done. It's the Kyle Trask show in the swamp. I don't know, 45-10.
All right, good pick. Good pick. Who do you have in South Carolina Ole Miss? Plus 11.
Ole Miss minus 11.
Minus 11. All right. And then
Wait, no. I'm asking you.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Ole Miss is minus 11. Yes.
And we're at Ole Miss.
Yep.
Kiffin. Offense.
I respect that. I think I'm taking the Cox in that one, but I would not mind just getting that last nail in the coffin just to make sure that Muschamp can't like somehow rally and keep his job again late in the year with a big win. It's the Vandy Kentucky game. That's the one I meant to ask you about.
Kentucky minus whatever.
Yep. That's where my head's at too. So also quick note, Clay, don't look now, but we're both in the positives this year, man.
Are we over 500?
Yeah, you went 2-1 last week. I went 3-0. You know, we couldn't both get 3-0 because I took Arkansas. But yeah, you're 11-10 overall. I'm sitting at a cool 12-9. I got a little bit of breathing room for that 500 mark, and I'm thinking I'm going to keep the momentum going this week. I think I'm playing hot. We're coming off 2 back-to-back winning weeks for both of us. We are a combined 5-1. So let's keep this going. I'm taking Arkansas plus 17 at Florida. Their defense is good. They've covered every single game this season. They're my favorite underdog team to bet because they always cover. Give me South Carolina plus 11 at Ole Miss. I think that Ole Miss has a bad enough defense and to make South Carolina's offense look somewhat competent. And I think South Carolina's defense is good enough to maybe stifle Ole Miss just a little bit. They kind of do that bend, don't break. But I could see them winning by about 10. I'm not expecting a Gamecock win here, but I think they'll do just enough to keep it close. And then I'm taking Kentucky minus 17.5 too. Vanderbilt covered last week, so good for them or whatever. But I think that's Mississippi State. This is a whole different animal. Kentucky's got a good coach. They're playing for their offensive line coach who just passed away this week. I like Kentucky a lot.
I'm with it.
All right. So on that note, let's head over to our guy Jack in Vegas.
Take it away, Jackius.
All right, and back from his little hiatus, we've got Jack Jones, our Vegas insider. He's been gone for a couple weeks, buried somewhere in Caesar Sportsbook, but he's back. He's got hot picks for us. What do you got for us today, Jack?
Well, thank you for having me back, and I'm sorry to the listeners for my hiatus, but sometimes you got to go find yourself a little bit, and I'm back with some, like I always like to say, a little money to pay the rent, pay the bills. So we're keeping it SEC. First, with a little bit of South Carolina to cover versus Ole Miss, I think that Ole Miss is a toss-up, and 11 points, I think, is what I saw there. So I'm going with South Carolina. The Gamecocks, I know you like that, Tanner. Next, we got Florida. I think they cover versus Arkansas. I know it's a lot of points, but Florida, they look pretty damn good. Arkansas – should have probably gotten beat by Tennessee, but we won't talk about that. We'll leave that to Clay to hash that out. But another little bet I like is Virginia Tech and Miami. I'm going with Miami money line. I like them a lot. The Hurricane, they're coming in. They're looking good. They got some athletes. Virginia Tech looks pretty good too, but I'm digging Miami right now. I'm all over that. Hopefully next week I'm going to bring y'all a little juice, a little maction. I'm going to let this next week settle in, but be prepared for a little maction action from Jackson because it's coming in hot next week, baby.
I love it. You got I heard you might have a little over-under action even. You're going to sprinkle in a little over-under
Oh,
action?
yeah. Yeah, we're going to hit that over for the Candy versus Kentucky game. We're going to hit the over there. And I think it's 41, over 41 and a half. I know both teams, it's like, who knows what's going to happen, but that's just not a lot of points for me. So I'm going to hit the over there. Mandy and Kentucky, Candy and Kentucky, however you want to say it. Over. You heard it here first.
All right, so we got our guy Jack Jones. He's riding with the Gamecocks this week. I'm also riding with them. He's got Florida minus 17. Kentucky Vanderbilt over 41.5, and he's taking a little flyer action on Miami out of conference.
Yeah, a little out of conference play, just to get your blood going a little bit. I'm live at the Aria. I just checked the lines downstairs. I got a close confidant. He's telling me, he's confirming everything I've just said to you. We feel really good. I feel great. About to head over to the MGM Grand and check some things out there, but I feel great. And boys and girls, lock them in. Lock them in.
All right, that's our Vegas insider, Mr. Jack Jones, with his locks for this week. He's even got a little extra action for us because the SEC's half of the games are postponed again.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. COVID is just an annoying thing, and we all get it. But everybody's got to do their part. Just wear your mask and wash your hands. Be clean. Take a shower, Clay. Okay? Nobody wants to catch COVID. Just be smart. Keep your distance. One love, everyone. You heard it here. Vegas Insider. Jack Maction Jones coming next week with a little Mac play for you. Be ready. Tune in, boys and girls. Tanner, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. It's good to have you back, brother.
Clay, Tanner and Clay, thanks for having me.
All right, live from the Aria Hotel in Las Vegas. That is our guy, Jack Jones. Thanks for coming on, man.
God bless you, brother.
Shout out to Jack, his picks in Vegas. Jack, after his little 2-week vacay, little 2-week hiatus, good to have Jack back on the show. Week 8 with a side of COVID coming up this Saturday. Tanner?
Piping hot.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, it should be something. If you guys like what we're doing here, give us some likes and reviews. Check us out on YouTube and subscribe to the Garage Guys Fantasy Sports. We're closing in on about 400 subscriptions, so we'd like to get up over that in the next couple days. If you like what we're doing, there's plenty of ways to support. Just check out our page. Let's win us some money this weekend, Clay.
A relaxing weekend for Vol fans as COVID has canceled the game. Get some rest, Vol fans. Get ready for basketball. It's time to lock in.
We're turning the page. We're officially an SEC basketball podcast after what our teams have been doing all year.
Tanner.
Clay.
Have a good one, brother.
You too, man. Another week SEC. Let's ride.